My intro to EEO. This stands for the Equal Employment Opportunity, which refers to the legal framework that prohibits employee discrimination across the country and just the United States, really. The importance of this is vital for promoting diversity, equality, and inclusion in all of the workplaces around the country. The historical context from this is before EEO, there's a lot of discrimination, especially before 1964. You could basically not get hired or just get fired from a place just for what you look like, between your skin color, your backgrounds, anything of that sort, even your gender. And beyond that, you were even discriminated in your day-to-day life of where you could go and where you could sit. The EEOC and the EEO worked together and created federal laws that includes monitoring, and they abolished discrimination in everyday life for average human beings and everyone around the world. They didn't necessarily abolish it, but they have set standards and set different rules so that the world can just become a better place. Now, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, this was the turning point where discrimination really kind of went away in a sense, or that it just made the world a little more equal, or America a lot more equal than other countries. This act prohibited any sort of employment discrimination through any workplace in America. This was based on your race, your religion, your sex. This was also very significant because it established the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which is the EEOC, and this enforced any of these racial discrimination in any sort of way, any sort of discrimination for all the workplaces around. The expansion of EEO legislation, the EEOC expanded in several different ways. Some of these ways was prioritizing underserved workers, which were workers that may be unaware to the discrimination that they might be having, or unaware of their rights being violated in any sort of way. The EEOC allowed easy access for these people to file charges against the company, while also the EEOC monitored these companies and just monitored companies all around the world so that they're discrimination free. Key developments. So some of these laws have evolved to protect, or they're mainly evolved to protect individuals from workplace discrimination based on, again, race, gender, age, disability, religion, and many others, just other protected characteristics. EEO laws significantly evolved to promote fair and equal treatment in the workplace, but employers must comply with these laws to ensure non-discriminatory hiring in any sort of way. And furthermore, compensation, promotion, and work conditions, that you can't separate people. You cannot, just because they are a different skin color or gender, that you cannot lower their pay or have them paid less or more than others. It also makes the workplace more inclusive and enjoyable and more equality for all around. Recent trends. So the EEOC keeping up and enforcing the federal laws, of course, in place, but there are some things still going on, even though that this was 60 years ago when this was put in place, even though it is a federal law. Recently, in Alabama, a recycling company, actually a couple weeks ago, was discriminating against female job applicants because they just didn't want them. They just wanted men. So they just denied them all the time. And then also Sam's Club, very, very big place around America, had disability discrimination in one of their facilities somewhere in this country, and basically just fired her for having a disability, and they didn't want to fix the problem in any sort of way. So now those are just a couple. This happens probably on a daily basis still, but at least it's being taken care of and handled in a professional way. Now, some of the major EEO laws. So there's the ADA, which is Americans with Disability Act. So that's what Sam's Club went against of. This protects individuals with disabilities, ensuring equal opportunities for employment and access to public services. Age discrimination in employees or in employment, which is the ADEA. This prohibits discrimination against individuals that are 40 years and older, so just older people in the workplace. Civil Rights Act. This prohibits any sort of discrimination and basically the foundation of the EEO. The Equal Pay Act of 1963, this mandatory equal pay for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're white, if you're black, if you're female, if you're male, it doesn't matter. Any sort of background, it has to be equal. No disparities. These are the last three. The Family and Medical Leave Act. This provides employees with the right to have unpaid leave for medical reasons, basically. But also not so that they would get fired just for being away. Sexual harassment laws, which includes provision against unwelcome sexual advances and creating a hostile work environment. And then the Uniform Guidelines of Employee Selection Procedures, which establish standards for employers' selection processes to prevent discrimination against any protected group. So, challenges for Christians in human resources. There are ethical dilemmas within HR, which means that there has to be a balance. People have to be able to balance their own personal beliefs and with their organizational beliefs. Some people or other employees don't want to hear you blabbering on about different religions and you should do this, you should do that. Like some customers just want to grab their groceries and leave. They don't want to have a full in-depth conversation sometimes. You should really keep that to yourself sometimes. So Christians need to navigate their conflicts by not allowing themselves into situations where legal obligations may conflict with moral values. Now, you can argue, by promoting diversity, by promoting religion within a company is great, but we need to, stay true to your own personal convictions. Conclusions. While legal protections exist, discrimination based on race, gender, and ethnicity remains a significant issue worldwide. Organizations and governments continue to implement policies to promote diversity, equality, and inclusion while reducing bias in various areas of society. Addressing discrimination requires awareness, education, and active enforcement of anti-discrimination laws to ensure equal opportunities for individuals. There's my works cited.